looking cause they stay in the job.
You just don't know my name. It's Ciara time. Ciara time.
And I be with them, wanna be with them.
The looks, the talent, the moves. She was supposed to be the next Beyoncé. Back in the 2000s, she was dominating the charts, redefining R&B, and proving she could dance circles around anyone in the industry. But somewhere along the way, something went wrong. She had the formula for superstardom, but instead of becoming a legend, she slowly faded into the background. And the crazy part? It didn't have to be this way. Ciara was this close to reaching the same level as Beyoncé and Rihanna, but a few critical career moves changed everything. So, what exactly happened? In 2004, a 19-year-old Ciara burst onto the scene with Goodies. And it wasn't just a hit, it was a cultural reset. She wasn't just another R&B singer. She came in with a completely new sound, something that had never been done before. It was called crunk N&B, a mix of R&B melodies and the high-energy, club-heavy beats of Southern hip-hop. And Ciara, she was crowned the Princess of Crunk N&B. Her debut album went triple platinum and she was dropping hit after hit. 1, 2 Step, Feet, Missy Elliott, a club anthem. Oh, Feet, Ludacris. That deep bass, that ATL sound, pure fire. Goodies, a #1 hit that made her a household name. But it wasn't just the music, it was her performances. Ciara wasn't just a singer, she was a dancer. And not just any dancer. She had a raw, street-inspired style that nobody else in R&B was doing. She could pull off moves that most artists wouldn't even attempt. Backflips, pop-locking, glides, and crazy choreography that made her look like the female version of Usher or Chris Brown. And here's the thing, she was self-taught. No formal dance training, just pure talent. With her insane dance ability and unique sound, Ciara had something special. She had the potential to be the next global superstar. At this point, she was being compared to Aaliyah, Janet Jackson, even Beyoncé. And for a moment, it looked like she was on track to be in that league. But then, she made one career move that changed everything. At the height of her success, Ciara had a dream team behind her, especially one key figure, Jazze Pha. If you don't know, Jazze Pha was one of the biggest producers of the early 2000s. He was responsible for shaping Ciara's entire sound. He wasn't just her producer, he was her mentor, the person who saw her potential before anyone else. He crafted the crunk and B sound that made her stand out, and together, they had a winning formula. But after just 2 albums, Ciara decided to part ways with him. The reason? Money, creative control, and industry politics. There were whispers of financial disputes, disagreements over management, and Ciara wanting to evolve her sound. She wanted to move in a new direction, but cutting ties with the very person who built her sound was a huge risk. And almost immediately, you could feel the shift. Her next move, Mari? She started working with new producers like The Dream, Tricky Stewart, and Polo Didon. Big names, but none of them understood her sound like Jazze Pha did. And this is where things started going wrong. Because instead of refining what already made her special, Ciara tried to reinvent herself. And that's when she made another mistake. She chased the pop charts. She went from hip-hop infused R&B to a more mainstream electro-pop sound. And the fans? They weren't vibing with it. Her core audience, the people who rocked with her since Goodies, felt abandoned. And the mainstream audience? They already had Beyoncé and Rihanna. They didn't need Pop Ciara. This decision completely shifted her trajectory, because when an artist loses their core fan base and fails to capture a new one, it's almost impossible to bounce back. And things only got worse from here. After leaving Jazze Pha, Ciara's next move was supposed to elevate her career. Instead, it sent her into a downward spiral. She wanted to break away from the crunk and B sound and go more mainstream. And by mainstream, I mean pop. Her third album, Fantasy Ride, 2009, was her first big attempt at crossing over. And let's just say, it didn't go as planned. She started working with producers like The Dream and Tricky Stewart, the same team behind Beyoncé's Single Ladies and Rihanna's Umbrella. But instead of giving her a unique lane, they made her sound like everybody else. Fantasy Ride felt like an identity crisis. It had electro-pop beats, a futuristic theme, and less of the hard-hitting street energy that made Ciara stand out in the first place. And the result? Her lead single, Love, Sex, Magic, feat. Justin Timberlake, was a mild success, but it didn't feel like her. The album flopped, barely selling 200,000 copies in the US. Her core audience, the people who loved goodies and the evolution, felt alienated. She tried to bounce back with Basic Instinct, 2010, a return to her urban R&B roots. But by then, the damage was done. The industry had moved on. Rihanna was dominating with her rated R and loud eras. Beyoncé was untouchable after I Am You, Sasha Fierce. Even newcomers like Nicki Minaj were stealing the spotlight. Meanwhile, Ciara was struggling to find her place. And if that wasn't bad enough, behind the scenes, her label was completely fumbling her career. At this point, Ciara wasn't just dealing with an identity crisis in her music, she was also fighting against the industry itself. Her career took a serious hit when her label, Jive Records, completely mishandled her projects. Here's what went down. Fantasy Ride, 2009, was supposed to be her big pop crossover moment, but the rollout was chaotic. Songs were leaked, the album kept getting delayed, and when it finally dropped, it felt rushed and uninspired. Then came Basic Instinct, 2010, a project where she tried to win back her R&B audience. But Jive didn't even promote it properly. Her singles weren't getting radio play. The label wasn't pushing her music. Even Ciara herself admitted that she was begging them to release her songs. It was a mess. And by 2011, she had enough. Ciara publicly called out Jive Records for sabotaging her career. She revealed that the label was controlling her sound, blocking her music from being released and refusing to put money behind her projects. She asked to be released from her contract, and eventually, they let her go. But here's the thing. By the time she finally got free, the industry had already moved on. The 2000s R&B scene she dominated? Gone. The music landscape had completely changed, and Ciara was struggling to keep up. Her next move was supposed to be her comeback, but would it work? After escaping Jive Records, Ciara was finally free to rebuild her career. In 2013, she signed with Epic Records and dropped her self-titled album, Ciarra. And for a moment, it looked like she was making a real comeback. Her lead single, Body Party, was a major hit. It brought back her R&B roots with sultry vocals and smooth production. The song went gold and became her biggest hit in years. People started saying, Ciara's back! But then, her momentum stalled. Her follow-up singles flopped. Epic Records wasn't fully pushing her album, and once again, the industry wasn't prioritizing her. By this time, the music scene had completely changed. Streaming had taken over, and newer artists were dominating the charts. Trap and B was a new wave. Think Bryson Tiller, Summer Walker, and SEA. Beyoncé was dropping surprise albums, and Rihanna was ruling pop music. Ciara was still talented, but she wasn't seen as a priority in the industry anymore. And then, she made another pivot, one that completely changed the course of her life. She met Russell Wilson. Before Ciara met Russell Wilson, her love life was already making headlines, especially her high-profile relationship with Future. They got engaged in 2013, had a son together in 2014, and were supposed to be the next hip-hop power couple. But just months after their son was born, it all fell apart. The relationship ended in a messy breakup after rumors of Future cheating surfaced. And the breakup wasn't quiet. Future and Ciara went back and forth publicly for years. But then, Russell Wilson entered the picture. In 2015, Ciara started dating the NFL star, and their relationship was the complete opposite of what she had with Future. Russell was a clean-cut, family-oriented, and financially stable man, a huge contrast to the drama of her past relationships. And when they got married in 2016, it officially rebranded Ciara's entire image. She was no longer just an R&B artist. She became part of a power couple. She leaned more into motherhood, faith, and family values. She and Russell became known for their luxurious lifestyle, red carpet moments, and philanthropic work. Ciara wasn't just a singer anymore. She was building an empire. She had 3 children, her son with Future and 2 kids with Russell, and motherhood became a huge part of her public image. By this point, music was no longer her main focus. She was shifting into business, fashion, and branding. But even though she wasn't topping the charts anymore, she was still winning. Fast forward to 2025, and Ciara has completely reinvented herself. She's no longer just an artist. She's a businesswoman, influencer, and brand mogul. She still makes music, but but it's not the main focus. Ciara still drops music here and there, but let's be real, it's not her top priority anymore. Her last album, Beauty Marks 2019, had a few good songs, but it didn't make much of an impact on the charts. Instead of chasing radio hits, she's independent now and releases music on her own terms. She focuses more on inspirational, feel-good R&B, rather than competing with artists like SZA, Summer Walker, or Doja Cat. At this point, music is more of a passion project for her than a career-defining focus. 2. She's a business mogul. One of the biggest shifts in Ciara's career has been her business empire. She launched her clothing line, LITA, Love is the Answer, which focuses on high fashion streetwear. She co-founded the House of LR&C, a fashion brand with her husband Russell Wilson. She has beauty and fragrance deals and frequently partners with major brands. Ciara is securing major bags not from music, but from fashion, endorsements, and brand collaboration. 3. She and Russell Wilson are a power couple. Ciara and Russell Wilson have built an entire family brand. They constantly make headlines for their luxury vacations, matching outfits, and over-the-top romantic gestures. They're involved in philanthropy, especially with children's charities and education programs. Russell is still playing in the NFL, but they're clearly planning for life after football. They've positioned themselves as a model couple, polished, faith-driven, and all about family and success. 4. She's an influencer and social media star. Ciara has mastered social media. She's constantly posting fashion content, dance videos, and cute family moments. She's a regular at red carpet events, Met galas, and high-profile fashion shows. She stays relevant without needing to dominate music charts. 5. She's living life on her own terms. At this point, Ciara doesn't need the music industry to validate her. She's built a career where she can drop music when she wants, secure million-dollar brand deals, live a luxurious, happy life without chasing chart numbers. She may not have Beyoncé or Rihanna's music empire, but she's created her own lane, and that's why she's still winning. So, could Ciara have been as big as Beyoncé or Rihanna? Let's look at the facts. She had the star power, the talent, and the stage presence. She had her own unique sound that made her stand out in the early 2000s. She was positioned to be one of the biggest female artists of her generation. But here's where things went left. Cutting ties with Jazzy Faye took away a core part of her sound. Chasing pop success instead of building on what made her unique caused her to lose her core fan base. Her record labels mishandled her career, delaying releases and failing to market her albums properly. By the time she tried to regain momentum, the industry had moved on, but does that mean she fumbled the bag? Not at all. Because while Ciara didn't dominate the music industry like Beyoncé or Rihanna, she did something just as impressive. She evolved. Instead of forcing herself to compete in an industry that wasn't prioritizing her, she pivoted. She used her star power, image, and influence to become something bigger than just an artist. She built a business empire with fashion, beauty, and endorsements. She became a social media and lifestyle influencer without needing chart-topping hits. She married an NFL star and created a power couple brand. She's living a luxurious, happy, and stress-free life while still being a part of the entertainment industry on her own terms. At the end of the day, not everyone needs to be Beyoncé. Some artists chase fame and relevance their entire careers, while others, like Ciara, choose financial stability, happiness, and a legacy outside of music. Could she have been one of the biggest artists of all time? Maybe, but did she still win in life? Absolutely. So the real question is, what would you have done? Would you rather have Beyoncé-level fame and the pressure that comes with it, or would you rather have Ciara's life, wealth, family, and the ability to move how you want? Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think Ciara made the right career moves, or do you think she could have done something different? Let's talk about it in the comments.